When you learn this stage of your masculine journey, it will benefit you for the rest of your life. And what I'm talking about hardship. Hardship is necessary for a boy to develop into a man, particularly with this modern day and age when half of our boys are raised by brilliant, great mothers, but obviously there's no replacing a father. And particularly if you're a father and you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the warrior stage, you need to listen to this very carefully, because you're not just going to benefit, whoever you come in contact with will benefit also. So for the longest time, as a young man, people would say to me, why do you box? Why are you a boxer? And the truth is, there was a time there where I couldn't answer them. I could say, it's good to keep fit. I didn't care about fitness, but I didn't really know what was driving me. So when it comes to the masculine journey, you either find some of these things out by a strategic plan, like we do with our rite of passage, when we do with our man life experience, what we do with our 5-day man challenge. There's processes there. You find out by you, like obviously somebody who's been through it, and you create a path to get certain questions answered inside you, or it's a lucky dip. And I suppose if you don't know, well, you don't know. And when it comes to that stage, if you go through my Rite of Passage book, I talk about, just briefly, it's a small book, I talk about the warrior stage and how that needs to be developed in order to build confidence, to develop courage, so that you're ready to marry, so that you're ready to take on the challenges of this world. But when you don't know, well, obviously you don't know. And if this stage is not handled carefully, a lot of men are damaged from it when hardship comes. And for me, when I was 14, I started knocking around with some older kids. I ended up at this party that was for kids 18th, and I was only 14. I remember going there, getting drunk. An older kid who was there, he beat me up in front of the whole party, and I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. I remember being thrown around like a rag doll, and I couldn't even defend myself. At least that's what it felt like, and it was a really pivotal point in my life. And I didn't realise it at the time, but I literally stopped trusting people. I became skeptical. I was angry. I was always, when I'd go out anywhere, I'd always wear like shoes I could either run in or fight in. Like that's what it did to me, And I always kept my back to the wall, when I'd be in public places, and after a couple of years of that, my dad goes, hey, man, we're going to take you to the gym, son. We're going to teach you how to fight, because I kept getting in. When you're an angry person, you seem to bump heads with a lot of people, and that's what was happening to me. I didn't know why, So once I found boxing, boom, I took like duck to water. And, all that, I suppose that rage that was in me, I could put it into something positive, I was a few years into it, and maybe 4 or 5 years into it, and I started to actually, as I said, these couple of men come into my life, and they started to show me these rite of passages about testing yourself, about challenging yourself. And as I started to learn, I started to see that's why I was doing what I was doing. That's why I was boxing. I was looking for a way to test myself, to improve myself, to challenge myself. When I remember 20 years of age, going overseas, didn't know where I was going, what I was doing before technology in regards to mobile phones. I didn't know where I was, but I was looking for an epic adventure. I was looking for something to prove myself, to test myself. But I didn't realise it at the time. You may have been like me, got beaten up. For me, it was the physical stuff heals, all right? It was more the mental and the emotional stuff that was with me, It was more the confidence that was ripped out of me. It was the self-belief. It was that people were laughing at me. If it had been somebody, like I would help somebody who's getting the bejesus whipped out of them. But, those were the things that hurt. Trust was broken. Loyalty was broken. That were the things that hurt me the most. The physical stuff, you heal a week, a week later, you're good again. It's the emotional stuff. So I would say maybe some emotional stuff, you've been beat up, maybe in a different way, and maybe you're walking with that kind of confidence that's been taken from you, but maybe you aren't as fortunate as me to have some great men in your life come into it and show you that your past has an opportunity to become your greatest asset. Because that's exactly what happened to me. I was able to handle those things. And of course, when you know why you're doing what you're doing, when I'm boxing, I knew what I didn't have to prove myself. I didn't have to test myself. Really, and the truth is, when you know that, and you see it in men, well, when you know this stuff and you've been through it, you can see it in men when they don't need to prove themselves. There's an element of confidence. It's not arrogance. It's just confidence. They know who they are. They know why they're here. They know why they're getting out of bed. And the biggest thing I would say, and this is what a man said to me, he goes, Gav, you handle this correctly, your past will become your greatest asset. And that has been my story. And that's been the story for a lot of men that have gone through our masculine journey, our different things that we do, the 5-day man challenge, a rite of passage, our man alive experience, the mentorship, our inner circle. Once you start to find out what's worthy of your life, man, that's why I had men even recently fly. Okay, I'm here in the Mediterranean. Men flew from 30 hours away. Because that's what's driving. Once you understand what's driving you, there's no place on planet Earth you won't reach. There's nothing you won't do. That's where your confidence goes to. So you handle this correctly, your past to become your greatest asset. And you'll see that, for example, if I had never been beaten up that night and humiliated, I may never have gone to a boxing gym. If I fought, I got there when I was 16, I fought till I was 34 years of age. I got the privilege of fighting, in different countries for a Commonwealth title, world title, eliminators. I was the Australian champion. I got to live a dream. A dream was birthed out of possibly my worst and best moment. So I'm telling you, if there's breath in your lungs, your fight is not over. So by all means, there'll be a link below. Do the next right thing. If what I'm speaking to you is resonating, grab one of my books, jump into one of my programs. For goodness sake, do not try and do this masculine journey on your own. I'll see you on the other side.